And now for our next news special report.
Good evening, America, and now a special report that you do not want to miss. It appears the tables have turned in the White House. Remember President Biden's declaration, "Not another foot of wall under my administration." Well, that tune has changed dramatically. We're now hearing words like acute and immediate need for that very wall in Texas. The migrant crisis at our southern border is reaching an explosive point, and the Biden administration seems to be waking up to that reality finally. So what led to this sudden shift, and more importantly, why now after so many have already entered the country? Stick with me, because by the end of this report, we're diving deep into the pressing issue, and you don't want to miss our final thoughts, so let's get right into it. So we begin in Texas, where the situation at the border paints a dire picture. Over 245,000 migrant encounters in that sector this year alone. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who once dismissed the use of barriers, is now advocating for more wall. A change in tune or a realization of a grim reality? Now, if you're wondering about the gravity of the crisis, we've got a clip from Univision that sheds light on the sheer volume of migrants that are overwhelming. It's an influx and the desperate conditions that they are enduring. Take a look. Absolutely insane what we're witnessing at the border. Following this, it's evident the Biden administration is caving. The wall, once labeled as unnecessary and divisive, has now become a symbol of the solution, at least in Texas. Remember, Biden pledged no further construction of this wall, but with this sudden shift, it's either an indication of a coming change or we, the American people, are being played. Amidst this backdrop, former President Trump weighed in, voicing his perspective in a Fox News digital interview. He suggested Biden's urgency stems from seeing the U.S. confronted by a surge of illegal migrants, even alluding to potential terrorists within the nation's borders. Trump, poised as a strong contender for the 2024 Republican nomination, pointedly criticized Biden's decision to halt the wall's construction, attributing the southern border crisis to it. He emphasized, quote, "Biden sees our country being invaded," and challenged the president's response to the current situation. To strengthen the sentiment, a Trump campaign representative iterated that if Trump's border initiatives had continued, the formidable wall spanning 500 miles would have been complete, contrasting it with Biden's approach, which they described as turning the nation into a sanctuary. Now, it's fascinating to see the evolution of stances over time. For a quick trip down memory lane, let's recall when Senator Elizabeth Warren labeled Trump's barriers as a racist wall. To jog your memory, here's that moment.
Allocation, kind of our overall approach. I'm going to be introducing a plan tomorrow to take every dime that the president is now spending on his racist wall at our southern border and divert it to work on the coronavirus.
Of course, she wasn't alone in echoing those sentiments. Now, interestingly, the DHS has announced a move to waive several federal laws, including the Clean Air Act, Safe Drinking Water Act, and the Endangered Species Act, to fast-track the construction in Starr County. Their justification? High illegal entry. So do walls suddenly work now? Well, it seems so. While the Trump administration was continuously being berated for being racist and unsympathetic, the Biden administration's recent actions beg the question, were they right all along? But here's an analogy for you. Just as our body needs rest to function effectively, our republic needs robust borders for its safety. And speaking of rest, if you find yourself struggling with sleep, I have a solution for you. Just as a sturdy wall can block unwanted elements, Sleep Miracle Plus is your wall against sleepless nights. Crafted by Dr. Bruce Fong and experts at Sierra Integrative Medical Center, it combines chamomile extract, passion flower, valerian root, and melatonin. Together, these ingredients act like a barrier, giving you a night of uninterrupted sleep. With its patented liposome delivery, it ensures quick absorption, Don't let sleepless nights become your norm. Visit GetSleepMiracle.com and enjoy 50% off with auto ship and a buy one, get one free offer. Build your barrier to insomnia and wake up rejuvenated. Now, getting back to the issue at hand, the border. A recent report outside the Santa Teresa port of entry revealed alarming lapses in our current border defenses. Trump's wall segments were found laying on the ground neglected. And for those who place a premium importance on border security, this news is deeply troubling. Real America's Voice investigative reporter Ben Berquam captures this scenario vividly. Watch.
While we're all focused on these massive groups that are coming through the Darien Gap and all coming up by train and ending up in Eagle Pass and Juarez and Yuma and Brownsville, all of these illegals are a distraction for these guys. You can see right here, this should piss off every single American. This actually was wall. They took it down to make room for the new wall. This was all President Trump's wall that was going to go up, all the material that was going to go in this place. They took it down and it was wide open. Joe Biden took over and said, we're not putting that wall up. We're just going to let that rot out here in the desert. And so they put this temporary garbage up that does absolutely nothing. And you can see right here, they just bend the stuff back. They just fold it back right here. They've got a cinder block. They've bent it back, and all day long, you've got illegals coming through here. They just simply climb right through there and they run through the landfill when they think it's a safe time to get across. While Border Patrol is being pulled over to process all the illegals that are coming through, that Joe Biden and the Democrats have invited, all of these people that don't want to get caught are simply streaming through. I was here a few weeks ago, and all of these openings in this pathetic, worthless, not even a wall, are all new now. I'm gonna head down the line and see how many ladders we can count. We got 4 of them last time, had group after group after group. We can see what we find today down past Santa Teresa port of entry.
Disgraceful. So where do the cracks appear in the administration's border policy? It started with Biden's halt to the border wall construction in early 2021. This was following his promise that no more wall would be constructed. The Trump administration's efforts were dismissed as a failure to manage migration in a safe, orderly, and humane way. But now, the facts on the ground reveal a very different story. The Biden administration is facing a surge in illegal immigration with record high numbers at the southern border. Both Republicans and Democrats are now voicing concerns. Republican critics have been vocal in attributing these historic numbers to the Biden administration's decisions, which include rolling back Trump-era policies and stopping border wall construction. Further criticism emerges from the administration's move to sell off border wall materials and its legal action against Texas over a border barrier built in the Rio Grande. Amidst this backdrop, the 2024 presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis, well, now he promises to build the wall and make Mexico foot the bill, echoing the sentiments of former President Donald Trump. This commitment, seen by some as a desperate campaign move, is viewed by others as an unwavering stance on national security and border control. To get a sense of DeSantis' conviction, here is the man himself.
I was a little bit surprised when he was in Iowa recently. He was talking about his famous promise to have Mexico pay for the border wall that he ran on in 2016. And that was the reason why me and a lot of people voted for him. We wanted to see a wall. We wanted to see illegal immigration finally taken care of. And he said that, well, there was no basis to ever ask Mexico to do it. You can't just do it. There's no legal mechanism. It wasn't anything that was viable, is basically what he said. And I was like, well, wait a minute. That was your whole campaign slogan, or one of the main slogans in 2016. Now you're saying there was no way to do it. That was not something that I thought spoke very well. But the thing is, there is a way to get Mexico to pay for it. It's imposing a fee on the remittances that people who come here who are not U.S. citizens, a lot of them working illegally, when they send money back, you impose that fee, you use that, you get billions of dollars from that, and be able to build a border wall. So I will actually do that. I will fulfill the promise that Donald Trump made in 2016 to build the wall while we have Mexico and other countries pay for it. There's a way to get it done. I've laid it out, and we're going to make it happen.
As we wrap up this special report, it's clear the issue of the border wall is not just about bricks, metal, or fencing. It's about the security, sovereignty, and the future of our republic. When policies change at the whim of political tides, it's the American people who bear the brunt. The Biden administration's recent decisions underline the importance of having a consistent stance on matters of national security. Every flip-flop sends a message not just to the American public, but to those watching from outside our borders. This isn't just about one administration admitting another was right. It's about acknowledging the genuine challenges our nation faces. As we navigate the complexities of this divisive issue, one thing is clear: the safety and security of the American people must always come first. Thank you for joining us tonight. Remember, stay informed, stay vigilant, and always prioritize our republic's well-being.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.